Hello and welcome. This is Keith, the Director of Software Support at Sage Applications. In this video, we will go over the assignment view and editing assignments in your courses. We will begin on the course page for Demo Course. As a reminder, we can click the Create Assignment button if we want to make a new assignment. For this demonstration, we will edit an existing assignment. Click the Edit button to get started. Here we are on the assignment page. At the top is the assignment name. This assignment was converted from a read-only case, so it has taken on the name of the patient. Let's change the name of this assignment to Assignment 3. Next, we should enter an open and due date. Let's set the open date to today and the due date to 1 week from today. If we leave the open time blank, the open time will be set to the system default of midnight, the first minute of the day in question. Likewise, if left blank, the due time will be set to the default time of 23:59, or 1 minute before midnight, the last minute of the day in question. On the right side of the screen, we have an option to give the assignment a time limit. When a student opens an assignment with a time limit, the timer will begin counting down so long as the assignment remains open. Once the timer expires, the student will no longer be able to enter new answers. The timer will only count down while the assignment is open, and pauses automatically if the student closes the assignment. If the student's internet connection drops, or if the computer crashes unexpectedly, the timer likewise stops automatically. Directly below the time limit, we have the assignment status selections. The Sage system does not allow an assignment to be available to students and editable by the instructor simultaneously, to prevent instructor changes occurring at the same time that students are completing an assignment. Thus, when the editing option is selected, the instructor can make changes to an assignment and students will be locked out. When the status is set to open, the assignment is open to the students. This will bypass the normal open and due date of the assignment. Likewise, if an assignment is set to closed, it will be inaccessible to students irrespective of its open and due dates. In most situations, you will want to use the scheduled status for your assignments. This will automatically open the assignment on its open date and close it on its due date. The Grades Published button is for after you have graded an assignment. We will review the use of this button in another video about grading assignments. The Assignment Description box allows us to enter a description for an assignment. This one has defaulted to the patient name from the read-only case we imported. We will review what the description looks like in the student view later in this video when we review the student view. The Preview button allows the instructor to view the assignment as the student will see it. We will revisit this button later in the video. The Save as Template button will save the assignment as one of your assignment templates, which you can reuse. This is a helpful feature if you want to use an assignment exactly as it is in the future. If, for example, you are teaching the same course in 2 different semesters, you could set up your assignments in the first semester, save them using the Save as Template feature, and then import them into the course for the second semester without having to rebuild them from scratch. Moving on, we see the patient case study we added. The tags underneath the patient name are how we organize case studies in our catalog, by difficulty, setting, age group, and medical condition. We will review these tags and what they mean in our video covering the case study catalog. Click on the down arrow next to the patient's picture and name to edit the assignment. The Import Questions button allows us to import questions that have already been written for this case. Let's look at the Import Questions option. Here we can see a list of questions that have already been written. Questions marked with the institution icon are shared within the institution. Other instructors at your school will have access to these questions, even if they are not teaching the same course. Questions marked with the person icon are questions that you have previously created for the patient, and are not shared with anyone else. We can select any of the questions we want from this list by checking the box next to a given question. We will import 1 question for this demonstration, but you may import as many as you like at the same time. Select the checkbox for the question you would like to import, then click Import Selected. Let's create 2 new questions. When you create a new question, the item name field is optional and will not be visible to the students, but may help you remember what your questions are about. The first new question will be multiple choice. let's use the drop-down menu to select one best answer. The item stem box is where the question goes. This will be a simple true or false question. The Add Options button allows us to add answer options. Let's add one for true and one for false. Mark the correct answer by clicking this clipboard icon. In the Answer Rationale box, we can type the rationale for the question. This is also an optional field. Students will be able to see question rationale for any items they missed after the assignment grades have been posted. Now we click this button to save our question. We're going to create one additional question. Click the Create Question button again to make a new question. This time we will make an Order Review question. Order Review questions require the students to interact with the chart to complete. In the grading section, you will be able to see all the student interactions with the chart, such as documenting vital signs in the flow sheets, placing orders, or administering medications. Order review questions are particularly helpful in a simulation lab setting if you want to audit the student's documentation after the simulation. They can also be helpful if you would like to assess a student's understanding of an intervention. For example, if you had a case study in which a student needs to insert a nasogastric tube, you might assign an order review question instructing students to order the appropriate follow-up test to confirm nasogastric tube placement prior to starting tube feeding. Then when you grade the order review question, correct orders could include an abdominal or chest X-ray. For this example, we will create a simple order review question to instruct students to administer the patient's medications. Next, let's review question weighting. For this example, we would like students to receive 1 point for the long answer and 1 point for the multiple choice question. However, we want the medication administration question just entered to be worth 4 points. I can use the arrows or type in the number of points desired in this area. Now let's add a second case study to this assignment. Click the Add Case Study button to find a new case to add. You can look in the catalog to search by topic, setting, or difficulty if you would like to add a specific type of case study to your assignment. For this demonstration, we will simply add the first case study on the list. If you need a reminder of what the case study is about, you can click the spyglass to open the patient's EMR in another window. Click the plus icon to add the case study to the assignment. Now we can see the new patient case study is in the assignment. If we intend to use this case study in the assignment, we would need to populate it with questions for the case study. Instead, let's say we changed our minds and don't want this case study in the assignment after all. Click the Remove Case button to get rid of a case study from your assignment. At the bottom of the screen is Student Assignments. Here you will see the work that the students have submitted and be able to grade it once the assignment is open and students have begun working on it. We will return to this section in another video on grading assignments. We hope this guide was helpful. Thank you for watching and thank you for using Sage.